What's up, everybody? It's Comics Addiction coming at you with another video. Today's video is actually going to be for the contest entry for Comics Corner Club. He is celebrating the 500, which congrats, man, deserve it, and way more subs than that. Some of the books he shows, especially the variants, they look amazing, and I know he's always hunting down books with his dad, which must be an awesome thing to do. And then when he gets the return, which is all the CGC books, 9.8s, they look so damn good. I definitely suggest that you guys subscribe if you are not subscribed. I'll leave a link down below. His content's pretty simple. It's just got to be 18 or over or older. Subs his channel. And two things to do is to top 3 comic book history things that happen in your life, and something you're currently reading. So one is actually fairly recent, which was my goal was to meet Jason Aaron. I mean, some of the stuff he has written is so good. He wrote Scout, Southern Bastards, a really small book that not many people know about. It's called Men of Wrath. It's only 4 issues if I'm not mistaken. Such a great story. That was actually one of the first independent books that I picked up, and from there it was history. I got completely hooked into picking up independents, just getting more into reading books, and I got to meet him. It was awesome to meet him. One thing I will say though is, moving the camera, he seemed really tired. I mean, I'm sure it happens, especially when you go from con to con to con to con. He seemed tired. I was kind of, asking him a couple questions, what it took to get to the level of his writing. And don't get me wrong, by no means he was not a douchebag or anything. He just seemed kind of like, I'm exhausted, which is fine. His stories speak. He doesn't need to talk. He doesn't need to sound excited. His books and the books themselves, they speak for him, and that's perfectly fine. So that's one of my top moments. My second top moment would be this book right here. I remember when I picked it up, it was not too expensive because, I mean, the movie kind of hyped it up for a while, and then it kind of dropped in price again, which is this one, Days of Future Past. The book is the issue, I believe it's 2 issues. I do not have the other one on hand. It was such a great story. It was so dark, and you could see all these X-Men just getting picked off left and right by the Sentinels. And if you guys saw the movie, I was kind of scared of whether they were going to do the story justice. And the movie was so good. Like, it was well written. The CG, everything was. I was just amazed at the actors, the cast. Now that I look at it, I'm like, man, I don't know how they got that cast together, but it's an amazing story, amazing movie, and this is a story I love reading at least once a year. And I'm not even doing justice by reading it once or twice a year. I wish I could read it more, but there's so many books to read that, I mean, just read. If you guys have never read this story for whatever reason, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to tell you, please read this. The third moment that really changed my life in comics, at this point, I believe it was 2007. I was fresh out of high school. Maybe like 1 or 2 years actually out of high school, but still, fairly out of high school, fairly new. I knew I was always a Batman fan, and there was a movie that they kept on. I remember I saw Batman Begins. It was such a good movie. I remember thinking, oh my god, I was like, this is a really good movie, finally. Don't get me wrong, Spider-Man was a good movie. It just didn't do what these movies did for me, the trilogy. And I remember when they showed the preview for The Dark Knight, all I could think is I need to watch this movie. I need to watch it the day that it comes out. And sure enough, I hit up one of my friends. I didn't want to go with too many people because I don't want people talking to me or asking me what's going on. What's not to be rude, but this is a movie I needed to enjoy. Needed to just watch it in silence. And of course, it's The Dark Knight, as I said. And it did not disappoint one bit. I know a lot of people don't really like Christian Bale as Batman because of the whole voice changing where he's like, "Where is he? And you can't understand." Which is, I kind of understand, but I still like Christian Bale as Batman. He was, I know some people say Michael Keaton was my Batman, this guy was my Batman. Christian Bale was my Batman. And this is a movie I could watch so many times. If it's on TV, I'll watch it. Perfectly fine with it. My wife saw it. She actually liked it. She thought it was a little too dark, but she was a fan of the movie. I really... What can I say? Heath Ledger earned that Oscar. He didn't get it out of pity. He got it because he was such an amazing Joker that he showed how terrifying this man can be. One minute he's having fun, he's having blast, talking about how he got these scars on his face, and you realize that's not the true story because then he changes up his story. But then when he goes mad and just starts blowing up stuff for no reason, it was just chaos in this movie, and I loved it. And once again, the cast in this movie is just, it's amazing. Yeah, this movie, guys, I think I have like 3 copies in different versions, and I will keep on collecting different copies until I'm tired of having all of them or have no room. One book I do want to recommend right now that I'm reading, it's called Barrier by, I believe, Brian K. Vaughan, and also Marcos Martin and Munza Vicente. The story is really good. The art is what sold it for me because a lot of people are complaining about how this book is Spanish and English. You know what? Just the art itself. You don't need... sorry about the glare. There we go. Sometimes you just don't need a book to say anything. The art itself will speak for itself. See, like all this is Spanish, but you have an idea what's going on here. Well, this is the 3rd issue, so I'm not sure if you have an idea what's going on, but of course, it started with an immigrant from Honduras trying to get to the U.S., and something's happening in this woman's ranch, and she's blaming the cartel, but then all of a sudden you find out that it's not the cartel, it's UFOs and aliens, and all this crazy stuff starts happening. I don't want to get too much into detail because you need to read the book. You need to look at this gorgeous art, and it's really amazing. This is one of my favorite independent books so far this year. I highly recommend it. The first issue was free on Free Comic Book Day. So that was it, guys. That was a video for Comics Corner Club. Once again, congrats, man. You deserve this. And so many more subs, man, on all those awesome books you showed. So until next time, guys. Later.